BB851, turn right, heading 180. 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It seems like quite a long time since I used that as an introduction. I simply now jump into it, but today is going to be a bit of a longer video. I want to do a bit more analysis and give a bit more discussion at the end of it, so if you do enjoy this, let me know. The Boeing NMA, dubbed to be by many as the 797, is up there for some as the most highly anticipated aircraft ready for an eventual release in the near future. With the 767 series and also the smaller 757 series being fan favourites in the Boeing lineup in the past, many are eagerly awaiting what Boeing does next to capture that all-important middle-of-the-market sector, a sector which analysts have openly come out and said is going to be one of the biggest in the future. In fact, these same analysts said that Boeing's NMA could sell 4,000 units, albeit this was over a year ago now, when you definitely could argue and also probably agree that situations were very different with the company. However, with that being said, while the jet has not officially launched, we previously knew quite a fair bit about their plans. The new major update to be discussed in this video, no doubt, almost removes these plans though, but for background, it's worth mentioning that the NMA was set to seat 220 to 270 passengers in a heavily rumoured two variants, the 797-6X and the 797-7X. Of course, this passenger capacity can change depending on how airlines want to kit out the jet, say in an all-economy, or maybe 2 to 3 classes with a business and premium economy. With all that taken in, they also wanted to get this thing delivered to customers by 2025, now a little under 5 years away. An extremely tight deadline for a new aircraft that appeared on all accounts to still be on the drawing board. The update though we're getting today comes from the new Boeing CEO, who has recently been commenting a lot on the future of the company, in something I and many others could call a damage limitation. It's no lie that anyone coming into the board of Boeing, and even more so the chief executive role, is going to face an uphill battle that could, if completed correctly, be incredibly rewarding. Until then though, there's going to be lots of criticism as they try to rework everything. In these comments, we've learned that plans for the Boeing 797 have not been dropped, but almost restarted from scratch. His comments are as follows. We're going to start with a clean sheet of paper again. Things have changed a bit. The competitive playing field is a little different. We have to plan for China. I'll be taking a look at the competitive playing field comment a little bit later in this video when discussing Airbus's alternative. This is an approach which hasn't been discussed too much, but from those that have heard the news, is actually receiving praise. It would appear that this program, set to provide airlines and aircraft with around 4,000 to 500 nautical miles of range, needs a rework to hopefully better place it in the middle of the market sector. It's no use releasing an aircraft that, while for all purposes is safe, but can't reach into specific markets like that of Asia, a market that we all know is growing and needs planes desperately. So what does this really mean? Well, his comments highlight to us that they are truly going back to the drawing board on this jet. This comes nearly 7 months after it was actually being rumoured to launch at the 2019 Paris Air Show. Following that, we thought we'd receive news on a launch decision at the end of the decade, and then it was also being quoted that we'll receive a decision in 2020, of course this year. I'm not too sure when you'll be watching this video. Will this still be happening though? Well, it's definitely a possibility, but given they seem to be restarting plans, we may not get a definitive answer anytime soon. What we do all know though is that given the situation still ongoing with the MAX, full attention is being placed on that aircraft and that aircraft only. While the 777X readies for its first flight in the coming hours, or by the time you're watching it, it may have actually already taken off, it won't mean the 797 is a top priority, potentially slowing down plans for a release, and even worse, you could argue, the program's future, given the new thriving A321XLR, which was subtly mentioned in the comments earlier that I said from the Boeing CEO. Now, the A321XLR was launched last year, and's got even more time to grow on its already hundreds of orders from customers around the world if we're going to see an even longer delay to the Boeing NMA's release. The XLR is currently unrivaled in the middle of the market sector. You could argue the 757 and 767s are still flying, but as Boeing is not really delivering them to customers anymore in the passenger sense, they are really unrivaled. It's becoming a good option for airlines not willing to wait for Boeing's alternative, which now could come in the mid to late 2020s. What's more concerning is this would be 5 years after the eventual launch of the XLR with customers, which as we know, has hundreds and hundreds of orders sitting there waiting. In my opinion, news of a rework can most definitely be good and bad. On the positive side, it highlights Boeing is understanding the market and really taking a step back to ensure that this jet is ready to compete in all sectors of the market. So, once it is launched, it'll be a very good alternative to the aging 757 and 767s, which are still flying today. However, as mentioned in the last part of the video, this does give the XLR more breathing room, and as customers get more frustrated over no news regarding the NMA, they could really look to move to Airbus. It's going to be an interesting battle when and if Boeing do launch their own NMA. With that being said, I hope you did enjoy this more in-depth video from me. It's a little bit longer, it took a little bit longer to do than my bite-sized videos, as the channel really is for bite-sized content. You come, hopefully, usually, every second day, it used to be daily, get that news right there in 3-4 minutes. No real dribble-drabble, which I'm pretty much doing now, but it is at the end of the video. So I just wanted to try and give you some more information in this video. I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one.